fact, up in this joint on a journey to do some day labor. It is good that we are here. It is pleasant, even. Despite the world being on the verge of war, in the same time, we're constantly at war. Just in the news, it's not always focused on. But the Aquarian's official statement, making eye contact. I watch my videos and I never make eye contact with the screen, but while I'm driving, I'm gonna have to be making eye contact with the ROAD. So, the Aquarian, first off, the words pray and wish are kind of weak. We would like to say that our intention, obviously, is for peace. We're looking to end suffering. And there is suffering going on both sides of this, victims on both sides of this. The Aquarian, in its existence in the social and religious milieu, and how we take a historically critical approach to the study of religion as we become religiously literate, we have a bird's eye view of the war, of the situation in the Middle East, with America's involvement in it. Lots of it is because of religious ideology. And you could take China and North Korea, a place that is seemingly not religious, and just replace a political party or a leader as that religion. But specifically in the West, we have the Bible, the Old Testament, a story of Jewish people. Has to do with a race, ethnicity, or at least that's how it's been interpreted, as this certain people's story. See how we're getting a bird's eye view by looking at things from this perspective? And the motivations behind lots of people, and then the perception, how this religious ideology shapes the perception and therefore of the situation, and therefore the motivation, how they approach it, enter into it. So we have, from Judaism, about 2,000 years ago in Rome, we have Judaism taking the other religious elements around it and creating Christianity, an outgrowth of Judaism geared towards the non-Jewish person, the Gentile, to bring them into the worship of and graft them in to the Jewish idea of their God. Hang in there, it gets really fun. Now we have $500 after that, a Arabian person, Muhammad, blessed be his name. I guess you have to say that after saying that name so you don't get offed. And this is just another example of religiosity gone scary. Is when it leads to violence and the dehumanization of another person, to flash forward. But now we have Muhammad, who through somebody who was his writing stuff down. So the person behind the scenes was somebody from a Jewish tradition. How he got the new religion of Islam is based again on the Hebrew scriptures and foundation story. And they even scoop up some of the Christianity that was existing in that time, which is why we have the character Jesus and even Mary mentioned in the Quran. Now, in Islam, we also have a Zoroastrian or Mithraic Eastern influence going on there. And then Judaism would be a Mesopotamian cult of something out of Babylon, I think is in Cana. A certain sect separating themselves from others there, from somewhere else. But the whole Egypt Exodus thing, I don't think that's historical. We can take a critical approach to religion. It means getting the history, and through archaeology, we've been able to make lots of progress. The deciphering of languages. The information revolution, technology, the worldwide internet, the web. Let us evoke the goddess Arachne to weave a beautiful web of silver and is the moon, gold, the sun, on our crown, crowned by Kronos, ruler of Capricorn, our cap, our dome, the capital dome. You know, I was meditating. What I do is I sit in the shower and breathe, and sometimes it turns into like going through letters, chanting. Is what I came to today. The Alpha, the Father, air, into the marina of then high, go ooh. The ooh goes under, low, and then it settles on the M, the AM. The sounds of each one of our 7 chakras. The lowest one is L, low. Just saying that low, it brings you low. And so the letters to chant, that word scares people, but to speak out loud and sound them out and to stay on them and feel the sounds that they make and what parts of your body it goes to. Now, when you're in the dark, you see colors, which is white light reflected into 7. Our 7 chakras. Each one having a different resonation, sound, vibration, frequency, and can match that. The lowest one, L, Lam. There we're getting our chakras centered as we work up the ladder of 7 rings. To be crowned on the 7th day. Hallelujah. America. The name of America is occult as all heck. And Egyptian. Amen Ra's Ka. Or Aman-Re. America. That's a magical word. Just have a Lam meditation. Yeah, Lam deep. And then it goes Lam, Ram, Vam, Ram, Lam, Ham, Ham, Lam, Hum. It's a little bit higher up than the L. Vam is in the middle. Ram is more in the throat. And then you just do Am for the third eye. And then the crown is silent. Boom. You've created your Merkaba, which is at the 7th point in the middle of the 6-pointed star hexagram used throughout all traditions. And it is ultimately the positive and the negative together. The red on the right with the blue on the left is what I see when I go into the dark and create my Merkaba, my chariot that I travel through the ethereal realm of imagination. And the movement of it, what gives it motion, is our emotions. When we feel up, those are the waters that we launch from, which we create out of. It's the heavenly waters in your head. The earthly waters, the moon waters that the moon controls, are sexual waters of our sexual organs. The water from whence life comes out of. And in the progress of our human bodies, they too came out of the water. When we were first we were a sperm, looks like a little sea fish tadpole, which is after the M. The mem of the water goes to N. And N is Nun, which is like a hidden light. And it's the 14th letter of the Hebraic alphabet. And even the English alphabet. And it's like Osiris is cut up into 14 pieces and dispersed. They only got 13 of them, which is why we have our 13 colonies. Then you just choose 13, you just have it for that hay of it. Which reminds me, Friday the 13th is coming up. This Friday, that's one of their numbers. It's associated with the sacred feminine, the moon, 13 lunar months in a year. When you have the moon land in that 2 times in one of the 12 solar months, it's called a blue moon. Blue moon, you saw me standing alone without something in your heart. Our lunar body is what we launch off of, and it's by controlling our emotions and our sexual waters and the fire that heats it up, that fire of desire. Now, through our willpower, we could direct that fire to go higher. Praise, raise that sacred, sexy serpent. Curves, ruled by the moon. A Cancer, usually they have big breasts and a big booty. And big cheeks. Big emotions when they release them. Kind of moody. It goes around with the moon. The moon is the monkey mind that we have to control of an emotional mind. But it also has to do with the mechanical self. Our body that is under these laws, the mechanism of it, and that the moon is over that. The moon is humanity. It's the men. Israel relates the moon to, it says it's the moon. It is like, it's the church. But esoterically, astrologically, cosmologically, we have to get past the lunar realm, sphere, vibration. And then we go to the Mercury realm, which is the mind. And then we go to the Venusian realm, which is our senses. And then we go to the solar realm, which is, we're trying to create a solar body, a soul. And we want to feed that with energy, our life, which is at our heart space. Ruled by Leo, the courageous lion, authentic, raw. And then raw is we bring it together with the mind, Mercury, the mover. You could be the trickster, but we could take that caducean rod and work the sacred sexual serpentine energy, the sacred divine goddess, Mother Kundalini Shakti. She has a freaking necklace of human skulls and blood dripping from a freaking big ass sword, like a crescent, which is chopping down the egos of men, because you ain't gonna get in the temple unless you bow your head and humble yourself, son, because you're not worthy of her hand in marriage. You were brought to the scales of Libra and found lacking. You don't have the freaking coin to cross the Styx River. Oh shit, what are you gonna do? We gotta get to a higher vibe, because, and that doesn't mean by ignoring the low vibe, which is the world and war, conflict. We address it, we bring light, we bring love to it, to bring it into balance, harmony, peace. Advocate. Venus. O Venus, who doth entered into the house of bread in Bethlehem, the house of the wheat, the harvest. O great log worker. Virgo has received Venus. Love to our body. Light into the microcosmic, cellular, metaphysical structure. Love. Grabbing the steering wheel. And we're steering towards a life of health and wellness. Health and wellness is like something you could say. You get a lot into that group. I like it. Virgo is that body's, the physical body, and its laws of digesting, of purifying. Purim is held during this time. And it's opposite Pisces. They have the same function of ending, regurgitating, renewing, but it's not the new part of it, it's the part of it, which can be a little bit tough. Venus in Virgo, she got to go to work. She would ideally rather be on the lazy river in the opposite sign of Pisces. So she's at work. Work, work, work. Oh, you can make work beautiful this time. What is Venus like? Beautiful stuff. She is the health and wellness planet. But Mercury, Virgo, is it's the taskmaster. Now we get rewarded for the details that we worked out in the past. Venus, she is also the goddess of war, but like strategy. And like the reason why we go to war, for justice, hopefully. She has a preferential for the outcast, Saturn. And so does the Aquarian. How does Venus get along in Aquarius? I'm kind of like a Libra, but it would really like some far out stuff. Right now with Venus is like a magnetic, but in its magneticism, it's actually active, which is because it causes people to act. People to act out war for a love, Venus, of you name it. Allah. Allah. A to the L is is 1 to the 12. And A and E are the same. Lots of the vowels are just the same. It's 1, A. Aleph. The silent first letter of the alphabet, which is the magician. Which is perspective, where we start from. The air. Our mind. And then we bring things into manifestation. But you gotta learn that 12. You gotta have your 12 disciples. Each of the 12 signs is a piece of armor that goes over our body part. We have a helmet with freaking ram horns on that bitch. We got shoulders like the Taurus, Toro, ox, plowing this field of life, leaving behind a beautiful, fertile ground for the twins of Gemini to frolic. The very dual nature of our selves. Our hands and arms are protected in the strongest and the shiniest of freaking metals. Our solar body has wings as its lungs. As we breathe, we grow that sacred fire in our temple to shine bright out into this dark world. And we go into the dark. You adapted the dark. I was born in it. We all were born. We all come out of the dark. Now, what are we bringing to light? Are we being cowards? Because we don't want to, what, upset the scales? Well, what about if the scales aren't tipped in our favor? Obviously. And that's a very small little portion who are freaking rigging the scales. Well, first we gotta get the scales right in our lives, are personally harmonious, which Venus and Virgo is gonna help us do. And then hopefully give us the courage to go out there into the world. But when the sun goes into Scorpio, that's the going into the dark. Well, what also happens when we go into the dark? Sex and death And if this guy doesn't get off my ass, he might be receiving the ladder. Let's I'll stop. Live, laugh, love in front of me. If that doesn't work, load, aim, and fire. Ah! I was on the back of a Jeep. Those Jeeps are so quirky. Quirky is a funny word. Quirky is just a quirky word. Isn't that wild? All right, we gotta go. This has been fun. This is really great for it. Helps my morning works out. What did we learn about the Middle East conflict? Let us keep peace in our intentions. May the grace of Venus pour down peace upon the Middle East. And truth, knowledge, the whole world. Let us bring compassion and love to ourselves. Let us accept that. And let us also be a freaking fount of compassion and mercy. Let us be a reason for inspiration to others. Let us be inspired by the sacred, holy, feminine fire. And let us go off and protect that like a sacred, holy, rolling warrior. I didn't get a chance to go through our whole fit. The structure of it is Saturn. Oh, grand architect, Chronos, master of time. Help us to master our time, to use it wisely. We thank you for this opportunity to step into this great, beautiful Mother Earth. We thank you, Mother Earth, for these glorious freaking bodies. Need somebody to love, right? Need somebody to love. Anybody find me somebody to love? I work hard, he works hard every day. I try and I try and I try, but everybody when I shove it down, they say, Liam, you're going crazy. And I got my hand, bam, guitar solo, enter. Am I losing my head? Losing my mind. Oh, this makes life better. Yeah, that whole Middle East. I mean, I've been on top of this Palestine. I mean, the religious element. We didn't even go through it all, but I give you a foundation that we'll start from on future videos. For now, I just want to say, know that the news is propaganda. It's totally not unbiased. I gotta go to work. Love y'all.